Hi everybody, I'm Janet Fletcher. I'm the publisher of Planet Cheese, a weekly blog, e-newsletter. If you don't already receive it, I hope you will sign up for it. It's complimentary and you can sign up on my website, janetfletcher.com. Comes in your inbox every week and it's just a really quick read about cheese, something new I've learned and want to share. I'm also a volunteer with a grassroots organization called Victory Cheese. Victory Cheese is made up of people who are in the cheese business or affiliated with it, who've been concerned about what's happening to our cheesemakers and our dairy farms during the pandemic. A lot of them are really struggling. They have lost their restaurant accounts, they've lost their food service accounts mostly, and they have to keep making cheese because the animals have to be milked. Cows, goats, and sheep are still given their milk, so you can't just stop. And we at Victory Cheese, we're trying to think of ways to keep that cheese moving through the pipeline from the farm to you. And we dreamed up something called Victory Cheese Boxes, which are collections of cheeses from America's finest creameries that you can purchase. And you did, thank you. You purchased a Victory Cheese box called Coast to Coast. It's one of a dozen Victory Cheese boxes that I've curated for iGourmet. And they are all different themes and all different cheeses. I thought it would be fun for us to go through your Coast to Coast collection today before you taste, so that you have a sense of some of the stories behind the cheeses and the people behind the cheeses, and you know what a little bit more about what you're about to taste. So I'm here in my Napa Valley kitchen with the three cheeses in the Coast to Coast collection. My thought was, let's have something from the West Coast, from the East Coast, and something from the Heartland, and that's what we have here. We're not going to taste kind of imagined as a road trip from west to east or east to west, but that's not the tasting order. So we're going to start with the East Coast cheese, which is our youngest by quite a bit. It's from Connecticut, near a town called Mystic, Connecticut, which I understand is right on the coast. I've actually I've been to the creamery when it first got launched, and it is the smallest creamery I've ever seen and probably ever will see. It was inside a shipping container because that's how the two partners could afford to get started. It was a very tiny creamery. They parked that container on the farm where they were getting their milk, and I got to go visit it with a group, about two of us at a time, went inside the little creamery to take a look at it, and they have done so well with it, with their brand, that they have moved out of the container, built a real creamery in this same area of Mystic, Connecticut. And it's called Mystic Cheese. That's the name of the business. This is one of I think this is their top seller, Melinda May. And it's a very unusual cheese. I consider it highly original, although it's modeled somewhat after Italian Robiola. It's got a very soft, bloomy rind. You can see how soft and milky it is. It's only maybe a couple of weeks old when it leaves the creamery, and it keeps this very supple texture. It's going to smell like sour cream or cheesecake. It's got a very lactic aroma, mushroomy. I get a wonderful just white button mushroom aroma, a lot of yeasty smells, and I'm just in love with this cheese. Great to spread it on crostini or melt it on polenta, but it is totally delicious. And look at that beautiful, almost frosting-like texture. So I know you're going to love Melinda May. And our next cheese is from Oregon, so we're on the West Coast, from Dundee, Oregon, winemaking region in Oregon. And this is made by a cheesemaker who I really admire. She's from California, from Northern California, but when she decided she wanted to make cheese, she couldn't afford land in Northern California. So she and her husband moved up to Dundee. They have their creamery there. They buy their milk. She buys milk from a small farm that has Ayrshire cows, which is a European breed that's quite unusual in this country. And they are on organic pasture, And she's in love with this Ayrshire milk. She says it's really fabulous, very high in fat, and just really special milk. And the cows are outside, and so she is just very happy with her milk source. And this little guy is called Minnie. The creamery is Briar Rose Creamery, and this is their Maya, M-A-I-A, but this is their mini version. The normal Maya is bigger, and they have started making this little guy because it's just so nice for two people, I would say, and easy for shops to sell. Now, Maya, this is a washed rind cheese, which means that as it's maturing at the creamery, they wash it with brine. And it usually has a little bit more of a sticky rind to it, a little bit more damp. And Sarah, the cheesemaker, also put some of the mold, the bloomy white mold in it that you would have like on a brie or a camembert. So that's what's blooming here first, and I think we're going to get some of that more washed rind character as this cheese matures more. This is a young piece of this cheese that was sent to me. You're going to get a more mature piece that's going to have a little more of that washed rind appearance and aroma. But let's cut into it. Again, this is young. So this cheese, it looks like a brie or a camembert on the inside. Very yeasty and mushroomy smelling. It's not pungent like a lot of washed rind cheeses are, but it's going to get there when you are a little more pungent as this gets more mature. So I just love that yeasty aroma. Quite open texture. You can see that it's got little openings in it because this is not a pressed cheese. So lovely beauty from Dundee, Oregon. And great cheese for a Pinot Grigio. Needs a light white wine. Our last cheese is our Heartland cheese on this coast-to-coast journey. This is from Indiana, from Jacobs and Bridgeford Farm, and this is their Everton. And Jacobs and Bridgeford are husband and wife. They've been on this farm. Well, it's been in his family, Matthew Bridgeford's family, for I think a couple of 100 years. And he, of course, wanted to stay on the farm, and he and his wife started the cheese making. He is the cheesemaker, self-taught. And this is, this is farmstead. They have their own cows, raw milk, and Alpine style. So similar sort of to a Gruyere or a Comté. Look at that color. These cows are on pasture. They are rotated around to different pastures so they keep the pasture land healthy, and that color comes from their pasture diet. So this is a pretty large format cheese compared to these two, and it's aged quite a bit more. It's probably a year-old piece of cheese, and it's going to have the fullness of flavor that comes with aging out a cow's milk cheese for that time, especially a raw milk cheese. It's going to be very nutty and probably have some fruity aromas. Yeah, I get a strong pineapple scent, and brown butter and roasted nuts. So, this is a cheese that's going to melt well too. If you wanted to use it on a grilled cheese sandwich or a potato gratin, anywhere you would use a Gruyere and a ham and cheese sandwich. This is a great choice, but it's also just a beautiful choice for your cheese board. And this category of farmstead raw milk cheeses is increasingly rare. So I'm really happy that you're going to be able to taste the Jacobs and Bridgeford Everton as you've had this fun coast-to-coast journey with your Victory Cheese Box from iGourmet. I want to thank you for purchasing it and encourage you to go to the iGourmet.com site and look at the other 11 collections that I curated for them, the Victory Cheese Boxes, all different fun themes to explore. Thank you so much.